What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? As you can see, we are not at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're at the Las Vegas Dirt Track as the High Limit Sprint Car Series got underway here tonight. Hello, friends. Bryan, Nolen, Michael Massie Jr. III here for Frontstretch.com. Mr. Michael Massie, a plethora of action happened in the desert, and thankfully, there is no precipitation falling from the sky. Thankfully.
And I can feel my fingers tonight. Last night, I lost feeling in my fingers doing those interviews.
I mean, the later it goes, the more likely that it could happen. But apparently, you don't need sleeves. Well, I do. Shout out custom patch hats for some great stuff. Absolutely the nicest and comfiest hat I've ever worn. I wear hats every day. A person that was wearing a lot of hats, that was the Victory Lane hat dance. That's how you transition, folks. Justin Allgaier was doing that hat dance, an absolute clinic. And Massie, when he is in the lead and leads a bunch of laps, it always comes with, is there going to be a caution, and how does he screw it up? He did not screw it up today.
Yeah, I thought it was going to get away from him because it looked like Amarola had something for him at first. It was maybe better than him at one point in the race. At one point, we saw Connor Zilic rocket around those guys and take the lead, and it looked like he was going to get his first win on an oval. And guess what? Allgaier, coming into today, he'd finished second at Vegas. Not once, not twice, not three times. 4 times at Vegas, and had never won. So he finally gets it done. Nothing goes wrong. He kind of stunk up the show. It was a little bit boring, but, good for him. That 7 team, they hit on all their marks. No overtime to cost him or anything. And it is his 9th straight year with an Xfinity win, which puts him up there with some greats.
Kyle Busch and Mark Martin. I mean, those are 2 legends of the sport, especially in the Xfinity Series. A very, very scary moment. It was at the end of Stage 1, though, and you wrote about this on frontstretch.com. I encourage you guys to check this article out. Josh Williams, 3rd consecutive week, he was having some trouble breathing inside the car. He's been dealing with an illness of some sort. He was replaced by Ty Dillon. This is very, very concerning. You have more. You talk with Chris Rice as well as Ty Dillon. What did they tell you?
Yeah, so the past 2 weeks, he had these problems, but he still finished the race, and he got top 15s in both those races. Today, he was struggling, and he just had to get out of the car, and Ty Dillon said that, he got a text. He knew that he might have to. He was the relief driver anyways, and he got a text. It was like, get down here, quickly. And next thing you know, he's getting in the car. Josh, they rolled out a stretcher for him, but thankfully he did not have to get on that or go to the hospital. He sat in the pit box, watched the race. Chris Rice, they don't know what's wrong with him is the thing, is the scary thing. But, thoughts and prayers to Josh Williams tonight. Hope you get a speedy recovery there, buddy.
Honestly, hopefully they find what's wrong in general.
Yeah, absolutely. But Chris Rice thought it might have something to do with everybody was getting the flu, a few weeks back, and then on top of that, you're having all this go out to the West Coast, come back home, go back out to the West Coast. It just takes a toll on the body. So, Josh, we hope you get better soon.
One of the favorites in the garage, that is for sure. Last but not least, on the big track, qualifying happened for the practice and cup for the NASCAR Cup Series. And how about a surprise? How about Michael McDowell, first career pole for Spire? How about Spire Motorsports in general?
Well, first off, I think by the time we end this PRC, you're going to be all the way over there because you keep inching on away from me.
I'm cold.
I don't know if I spelled that. See, I'm so caked in dirt right now from that dirt race. That's what's keeping me warm.
I honestly believe that. I mean, I am a dirty person at my job, so I'm used to it. But there's a lot of dirt on me.
I don't know if you can hear it, but when I crunch my teeth, there's that dirt, dirt sound.
I can hear that.
But anyways, back to NASCAR.
Back to dirt. I mean,
back to pavement racing.
Go.
Michael McDowell. Last year we saw him win a bunch of poles at Front Row Motorsports. You weren't sure if when he went over to Spire if he would have the same speed as he had in the later years at Front Row. Sure enough, he's right back on it. I wish there was some clever nickname like Front Row Joe for McDowell, but there's not. But he's become a qualifying fiend. Last week we saw all 3 Spire cars in the top 10 qualifying. But when the race came, they all had like something happen to them, whether it was a crash or something mechanical, whatever. So we'll find out tomorrow whether or not it's not just a qualifying thing. If he can seal the deal and actually have a good run, he needs one if he's going to make the playoffs this year.
Last but not least, right over here, the debut for the 2025 season of the High Limit Sprint Car Series kicked off. Now, it's supposed to kick off, Mr. Massie, on Thursday, but high winds and potential rain postponed it to Friday. Friday happened, and there was actual rain, so they canceled it. So the actual debut was Saturday, and what a show it was. You had the likes of Ty Gibbs. It was supposed to be Christopher Bell. He unfortunately was not able to race. He was up in the PA booth with Kyle Busch. But you still had Kyle Larson. You still had the likes of Rico Abreu and Casey Kane. And then the debut of Ty Gibbs. And unfortunately, Mr. Michael Massie, it was not the debut that Ty Gibbs wanted.
Oh, man. I mean, it's been a theme this year for Ty Gibbs to get airborne, and this took it to a whole new level. He rolled multiple times. It was scary looking. I'm glad he's okay. We tried to catch up with him. Couldn't get together with him. But I just hope that he doesn't use this as, like, a reason to not come back and do it. I hope he does come back and do high limits again, because you don't want to go out that way, Ty, right? Like, come on back. And we saw him. He ran great in the heats. He raced his way into the main event.
He said he was having so much fun.
And the fans were cheering for him.
I know.
Like, I haven't heard that ever.
Yeah.
So he was a pretty popular guy tonight, but ultimately it came down to some guys, some usual suspects. You had Corey Day, Kyle Larson, in kind of a battle of the master and the pupil. And the pupil won.
But yeah, surprisingly, the pupil beat the master, Corey Day, his 8th high limit sprint car series win. Had 7 of them last year. Is going 1 for 1 so far in 2025. Last but not least, because I know Kevin Nix has to go to bed, and he's our great producer on this, so shout out to you, Nixie. We love you, buddy. Picks for tomorrow's race. I do got to say, the drive for 4 in a row is potentially maybe limited. Christopher Bell has to go to the back of the field per Bob Pockris. We do love Bobby P in this household. So, with that being said, who is your pick and why?
It's a tough one. I'm going back and forth on a lot of names, but I think we've seen Gibbs have their fun the last 3 weeks. I think you're going to see Hendrick strike back in the form of a guy who ran second tonight, Mr. Kyle Larson.
I like that pick. I'm going to go a guy that won 2 jackpots yesterday on slots. He's going to make it 3 jackpots with a trophy. Denny Hamlin beats the 30-race winless streak and gets a victory and locks himself into the playoffs and wins with his new crew chief and Chris Gale. We want to hear from you, though. Check us out on our Twitter at Frontstretch, frontstretch.com, as well as youtube.com/Frontstretch, our grassroots channel, our Frontstretch Plus channel, and our main channel. Jared Haas would kill me if I did not get all 3 of those plugs in. Oh, you want to say something else?
Open wheel.
You were about to say something.
I'll say open wheel too.
Once again, yeah, I'm gonna get a lashing from Jared Haas. Sorry, Jared, and Alex Skins. Sorry, Alex Skins.
Well, we're not covering open wheel this weekend. That's next weekend.
He will be covering open wheel with Mr. Danny Peters at Thermal Club next week, and a little shameless plug there. But we got to warm up because we got to be at the track fairly early tomorrow. So for Michael Massie Jr. III, I am Bryan Timothy Nolen. See you tomorrow from Las Vegas.
The Vivid EV Anthem is the essence of American spirit. Made with lithium battery technology, this neighborhood electric vehicle features vibrant colors, diamond stitch seats, and seats up to 6. It isn't just made in America, it's made for America.
Alex Skins for Frontstretch.com. Come back for more great racing content, and if you like us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.